Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there. Sure. Yeah. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here, based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me, absolutely happened to me. For years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Welch's knows some things make zero sense, like why the algorithm knows your music tastes better than you do. But zero sugar and full flavor? We made that make sense with new Welch's Zero Sugar. All that passion fruit or tropical punch goodness and none of the sugar. You gotta sip it to get it. New Welch's Zero Sugar. Let's fruit stuff up.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder Express.
Yay, and choo-choo.
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us all aboard the murder train, pulling away from the station here for another crazy Small Town Murder Express. And as you know, these are 10 pounds of lightning in a 2-pound bag, and we have
jammed in it.
Exactly that today for you. A very wild case of just the strangest group of murderers you're ever going to find. Very weird. We'll get into that. Before we do, very quickly, shutupandgivememurder.com is where you get everything merchandise, tickets, Dallas, December 2nd. Still tickets available for that one. Get in there and get those right now. Thank you to everybody who got the virtual live show and hung out with us. That was awesome. Thank you so much. Also, patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all the bonus material.
Yeah.
Anybody $5 a month or above. It's a cup of coffee, a mere simple cup of coffee. You'll get the entire back catalog of bonus stuff. It's like 200 episodes to binge right away, and then new ones every other week, including one Crime and Sports, one Small Town Murder, and you get access to everything this week for Crime and Sports. A very tragic tale of a guy named Donnie Moore. Was a pitcher who had a very bad thing happen to him in a game, and then his life completely went downhill in 2 years. It's the craziest downfall of all time. And then for Small Town Murder, since it was our costumes and everything else, we'll get into it. We'll talk about the Menendez brothers. for Small Town Murder. So get that right now. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports. Right. And you get a shout out at the end of the show as well. The regular show where Jimmie will mispronounce your name while wanting to get it correct. You also definitely want to check out Your Stupid Opinions, especially episode 8, because it had a review of the Lord Calvert whiskey, which in the last Small Town Murder Express caused a man to nearly behead a woman in a trailer.
That's terrible. Yeah.
Whiskey's so good it'll take your head off. So check that out. That said, I think it's time to get right into this.
Let's go.
All sit back, everybody. Clear the lungs. What do you say here? Arms to the sky, and let's all shout. Shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, Jimmie. What do you say? Let's go on a trip, everybody. We are heading on down south this week. Heading on as south as you can get. We're going to Mississippi, and we're going to Biloxi, Mississippi, which is
where the blues is at.
Where all the blues and Matthew Broderick walking around saying it's hot and everything else. So this is right in that little panhandle of Mississippi at the bottom that comes out. So it's something there. It's about an hour to Mobile, Alabama. About an hour and a half to New Orleans in the other direction, and about 3 hours and 10 minutes to Vaughn, Mississippi, which is our last express or our last Mississippi small town murder, which was the family death curse. That was a crazy one. So check that out. That was the name of the show. This is in Harrison County. Little quick history. We got to get through quick here. The Biloxi Lighthouse, I guess, is still here. And it was built in Baltimore and then shipped here in 1848.
Really?
They shipped a whole lighthouse here, which I guess if you can ship the Statue of Liberty in pieces, you can move a lighthouse.
I guess brick by brick, that's a lot.
Yeah. At one point, the Mississippi Gulf Coast had 12 lighthouses. Now there's only 2 surviving, and this is one of them, the Biloxi Lighthouse there. So during World War II, the U.S. Army forces built Keesler Field, which is now Keesler Air Force Base. And that'll come into play in our show here this week. And that became a big site for basic training and for aircraft maintenance and things like that. That really boomed the economy as well there because now there's people there in Biloxi. It's one of those towns there's a lot of military people and not really much else of anybody else. It's mainly military people. Hurricanes have definitely affected this place a lot, as you might imagine.
It's
right on the Gulf Coast.
Wear and tear, sure.
The worst ones here were in 1855, 1906, 1909, 1947, 1969, and 2005 with Katrina.
Jesus.
Yeah, Katrina really, just destroyed it. Yeah, they said the governor was quoted as saying that the coastline there looked like an American Hiroshima, and it did. It was
I imagine that thing just changed the whole fucking landscape of everything there.
It said they destroyed 90% of the buildings along the coast in Biloxi and Gulfport. Whoa. Just destroyed.
We always just talk about New Orleans.
Yep, it's destroyed everything. Floating casinos were torn off their supports and thrown inland as well, destroying things. When you throw a casino at a neighborhood, it's going to destroy some shit. That's not good. So reviews of this town, we've never been here, so how do we know? So let's give you some reviews. We got a couple of good ones, and then we'll give you a not-so-good one. Here's 5 stars. Living in Biloxi is nice. There's plenty to do. Shows, restaurants, fishing, shopping, casinos, or history. Yeah, the people here are mostly friendly. It's nice to get the chance to talk to strangers. I think that goes against everything we've been taught, but okay. It's beautiful here, too. I've noticed most of Biloxi has more nice areas than rough areas. I see Biloxi as beautiful, a very nice family-oriented town. All right, that's not bad. Here's 5 stars again. I call Biloxi my home. I've lived here for 18 years. It's a small city with big city vibes. The citizens of Biloxi have a real community attitude. We all look out for one another. There's about 49,000 people here, by the way, in Biloxi. All look out for each other, all 49,000. But, how many of those are military people at the, you know what I mean? So it's...
Who's temporary, who's leaving soon.
Yeah. And finally, 1 star. Okay. I moved here from the Pacific Northwest, and it is the most destitute place I've ever been. Destitute.
Yeah.
You have casinos, and that's it. There's a beautiful beach that usually has swim restrictions because of unsafe bacteria. That's not great.
It's the fucking Gulf Coast. That's gross water.
There, yeah. I'm a water sports person, so I have a big, beautiful beach that is generally unsafe to swim in. Outside of casinos and sitting and staring at the beach, there isn't anything. My husband got jumped for his bike 4 weeks after we got here. Jumped for his bike? What the hell is going on down there?
Why you got an adult riding a bike?
Wow. We live on the beach near Edgewater, so nice area. He's riding by the beach. That's,
Oh, okay, got it. One of
that's-
those bikes.
Yeah, he's not like on the road in the turn lane, which is the people I'm like, get out of the fucking road.
On a BMX.
Yeah, no. Oh, my God. The local economy is horrible. If you don't work at a casino, you don't work.
Okay.
Minimum wage is still $7.25 an hour here, and the cost of living is roughly $1,300 for a one-bedroom. It's quite expensive here considering how little people make and how uneducated the whole area is. The food here is disgusting. Disgusting.
Get the fuck out.
Jesus. Southern hospitality died here. People are rude. You don't like it here.
No.
Things to do here. Now, part of this sounds pretty good. The the Biloxi Seafood Festival. That sounds great.
In theory, sounds wonderful,
Could be
but
okay.
it's Gulf Coast seafood.
That's
You don't
the
want
difference.
that shit.
Well, that's where a lot of the shrimp come from that you're eating,
Yeah, that's
whether you
true,
realize
yeah.
it or not.
Yeah.
Or you could also go see the AA baseball team, which is a Brewers affiliate, the Biloxi Shuckers, which is awesome.
Okay, yeah.
The Shuckers. So this festival's put on by the Chamber of Commerce. It's a fundraising event. You'll learn about Biloxi's rich heritage as they move throughout the festival in pursuit of delicious plates, great keepsakes, and more. Also a chance to mingle with the locals to discover why so many people love calling coastal Mississippi home.
Yeah.
They're going to have, it says you'll have your pick of oysters, crabs, snapper, shrimp, catfish, and so much more. Yeah.
Yuck.
And don't forget biscuits, sides, and desserts as well. There's band.
Snapper and catfish. Yuck.
Here are the bands that played last year. They don't have this
Yeah.
year's up, but last year they started their music at 10 a.m., by the way.
Good Christ.
Imagine a band, we got to be on stage at when? Fucking 10 a.m.? We got to get sound check is when? Daybreak? Jesus Christ.
A guy that works fucking graveyard just fell
Fuck.
asleep.
I work at 7-Eleven. I get off, and now I got to come here? Because I don't think these bands are... Let's find out. 10 a.m., the Coach Riders come on.
Okay.
I
No.
know you know you're not doing well because you're the 10 a.m. band, number one. 12 p.m., The Project. Okay. 2 p.m., The Real Band comes on.
That's when the real band starts?
The Real Band. Duh. 4 p.m., Miles Flat with 2 T's.
Yeah, of course it is.
That's why not. Miles Flat. 6 p.m., Band Camp comes on.
Okay, it's
They
all
got them.
locals, huh?
Yeah, it's all locals. And then Sunday, there's only one musical performer, but I think it's going to just, I think he's going to
Knock
blow it
the
up all
socks
day.
off everybody. Yeah.
11:30 a.m., DJ Freddie J will be there. Just burning the house down.
11:30 a.m.
11:30 a.m. Just fucking,
God
yeah.
damn it.
Wow. Okay,
Knock the
so,
catfish right out of you.
yeah, take that. You've been shucking all morning. I got good news for you. I'm ready to rock.
Shit.
That said, let's talk about some murder. What do you say here,
Okay,
everybody?
yeah.
All right, let's get into this. Let's talk about a young lady first and foremost here. Her name is Atina, Attina.
Interesting.
She goes by Tina. Everybody calls her Tina because
Yeah, I would too.
why add an extra syllable to this mess here? Atina Marie Canaday is her name, Cannaday.
Okay.
Born September 8th, 1965. Okay, we're going to catch up with her in about 1982 when she's just turning 17, but at the same time, let's find out how she got to that point. Now, her mother was a Mobile, Alabama stripper.
Oh.
That's her
yeah.
mother, and in the 60s. So I don't know what kind of
Jesus.
strip clubs they had in Mobile in the 60s, but on. That's interesting. During her childhood, she did not have a good childhood, Tina, at all. She is sexually abused by her father at a young age.
Damn it.
So she ends up being a runaway,
Yeah.
which is understandable.
Makes sense.
And she gets married at age, ready for this? 13. 13. That's 8th grade for you normal kids out
And
there.
that's
Married.
Mississippi, that's legal, you sons of bitches.
Alabama, Mississippi in fucking 1978. I don't know how that's legal, but I mean, she does fake her age a lot too, so she might have faked her age. It doesn't matter because she's divorced by age 14. A freshman divorcee. The freshman divorcee is a strange title to own, isn't it?
A cigarette and a rosé on a Tuesday afternoon.
How you doing? Kids, get in here. Hold on, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a lot going on. But, I mean, she's had a lot in her life, obviously. This is
that's tough, man.
You can just put a bubble on it, an overview, and go, she was sexually abused by her father. But inside of that,
her childhood's been robbed from her.
Even if that was the only thing that ever happened and everything else was idyllic. But something tells me that sexually abusive father, you know, it just doesn't seem like her life around that was probably that great either. She probably was neglected a little bit, left with this guy, you know, things of that nature.
Left home alone.
Left home alone for mom works nights and left home with this psychopath. Maybe that's, I don't know what happened here. So it's awful, though. She's also repeatedly tested here and said to have an IQ of 71.
Terrific.
71. By the way, I think Forrest Gump was 72, I believe, in the movie. I always put it at Gump level because that's what everyone has a reference to.
Everyone can understand,
So think about that. Problem is, too, she's also blonde and very cute.
Oh, no.
So she uses that. No, she's not like, she doesn't wander through the world as a you know, just a ignorant flower. She is like, she's aggressive.
She takes advantage of it?
We'll talk about it. Yeah, once she gets divorced at 14, she goes to the Gulfport, Biloxi area here and works as a bartender and stripper.
Atta girl.
At 14.
Jesus Christ.
What's going on down there?
Why are you allowing her to mix your drinks?
14. She's mixing drinks and dancing. Neither of those things are obviously legal. No. And sometimes when it's slow and she doesn't make a lot of money, she would supplement her income through prostitution as well.
Of course she would.
At 14.
That's all she's got.
I just can't keep expressing 14. Yeah, because what's she going to go say? I type 80 words a minute. I can go, like, what other job is she going to get? She's 14 years old. So, I mean, she's got a lot of hustle to her to go be a bartender and a stripper and all this. She's trying to survive. It's tough. So she ends up meeting a guy who is 26.
Yeah.
Who believes that she's 20 because she's stripping and working at the bar as a bartender.
And because she told him she's 20.
And she told him she's 20. And if someone's mixing your fucking drink and you go, how old are you? And they go 20, you're not going to go, I bet you're 14.
That's crazy. I would have pegged you for not a day over 15.
Weird. You make a rum and coke like a sophomore. That's strange. Very odd. Strange stuff. So this is Ronald Wojcik, Wojcik. Ronald here. He's a U.S. Air Force staff sergeant who lives in the area.
Right.
Yeah,
that's what we have in the service, guys that can't recognize a 15-year-old.
Well, I'm telling you, if she's working, I mean, she tells you she's that old, and she's working at a bar and she's stripping. You don't think that you can't imagine your bartender's 14, can you? Is anyone thinking of that?
There was a girl that worked at the Improv that looked like she was fucking 13.
That's what I mean.
And she had 2 kids.
That's what I'm saying. She was like 29. That's what I mean. Right. Like, you never know with people. And so if she's saying she's 20 and whatever, I don't know why he didn't. You think you would notice, but she's been so like she's already divorced. So it's not like she's like, I was watching fucking My Little Pony earlier. Like she's
worldly by now.
So that's what I mean. I don't get it. So this is at the Sports Page Bar, it's called. Yeah. And Ronald would moonlight there after, so he'd work there, I think security, because he's a tall guy, after his duties here at the Air Force Base were over during the day, and he'd hang out, and, you know, there's women there and shit like that. Sure. He's a single guy, as we'll find out. He's an instructor with the 3410 Technical Training Group at Keesler Air Force Base. Wow. So he's divorced.
Yeah.
He has 2 children. His daughter's name is Dolly, by the way.
Is that right?
Yeah, the 70s. So, I mean,
it's certainly for that reason.
Certainly, possibly for that reason, which is cool. So he's divorced, though, but he sees his kids all the time.
Okay.
You know, as much as he can. So Tina hooks up with Ronald.
Yeah.
Now, Ronald is a stable guy. This is what's odd, because she, I would imagine, and has looked for, people who are assholes, abusive people. Yeah. He's actually a steady guy, not abusive, Doesn't hit her, doesn't rape her, doesn't do
Good
anything
dad.
like that. Yeah, decent dad. Like seems like a nice guy. So it's a very odd matchup anyway here. But maybe she might feel safe with him. I don't know what the deal is here. But she ends up she lives with him now. She moves in with him, does Tina.
Before she's 15?
Yeah, she's like 15, 16 at this time. This is like when she's turning 16, she moves in with him. They pretty much just act like a couple.
Okay.
They go out together. They go shopping together. They come home and make dinner, and it's like a married couple. That's all. Then, after a few weeks of this, he found out how old she actually was.
Yeah.
He never knew. She just lied to him the whole time. So he fucking freaked out.
Yeah.
And
You're
was
a
like,
child.
I've been fucking a fucking 14-year-old? Are you kidding me?
Right.
I would freak out too.
Oh, dude, I'd lose my mind.
I'm a felon? This is awful. I didn't think I was a felon.
I didn't know.
So he also realized that the military would disapprove of this as well.
Oh, yeah. He's
That
going to
wouldn't
go to
go
the brig.
well.
Yeah.
So he said, you got to move out. Like, this is over yesterday, and you got to fucking go. I did not know you were 14 or 15 or 16.
Whatever.
Anything under 18 is going to be bad.
Anything that has teen
Shy.
attached to it is fucking bad.
Anything shy of 18 is going to probably raise some red flags at the military there. So she moves out, and shortly after that, Ronald finds a new girlfriend. Because why not? He's out there looking for a girlfriend. Yeah. So he finds a girlfriend named Sandra Sowash, 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 Sandra. So he meets her, and that's what's going on. It's 1982. So Tina is 16. She hasn't turned 17 yet, so she's still 16. During this time, Tina meets a man named John Cooper, who knows Ronald. There is a mutual friend here, I guess now. Tina tells this John Cooper that she caught Ronald and Sandra Sowash in bed together.
Oh.
She said, I caught them in bed together, and I threatened to kill him if I ever caught them again. Okay, that's her story. Now, later on, she'll say she didn't threaten, but she did discuss the thing with him, and she said that Cooper then went and told Ronald about it.
Oh.
Now, that's why Ronald was like, why are you saying you're going to kill me? What the fuck is up with that? And she's like, I didn't say that. I just said I was mad. So Ronald was like, all right, whatever. He didn't care. He just said she's 16,
She's
running
a
off at
kid.
the mouth. That's what I mean. Who cares? So then Ronald said one weird thing, though, here, is that on the night before you told me this, she showed up outside my apartment yelling obscenities. So that was weird.
Oh, yeah.
So she does seem pretty upset about this whole thing.
She's mad.
Yeah, she just showed up and started screaming outside the apartment, which must have been fun for all the other people in the apartments. That's a show at that point.
But she's got to understand. She lied, man. And at that age, like, you can ruin my life with that lie. That's a bad lie.
And she is just, I mean, her life is just, Jesus Christ, this kid is not.
Damn it.
It's rough. I mean, she's living like someone who's 10 years older than her. That's hard. You can't live like that when you're that age. That's so difficult. I feel bad for her. So June 1st, 1982, Tina makes a phone call to a friend named Gina Pietragallo. Now, during this conversation, she says she loves Ronald. She loves him. She expresses repeatedly, I love Ronald, but I'd also like to kill him. I really would. I'm very upset with him.
I love him so much.
I went and I cursed outside his apartment, and that didn't quell it. I thought
didn't fill the hole.
I figured that would do it. I was like, I'll go out and curse. I'll feel better. And you know what? I need blood. I just need blood.
I thought the void would be filled by calling him an asshole.
I thought so. And part of this may be that she is like bouncing from apartment to apartment, friends' couches and shit like that.
Yeah, it hurts.
Yeah. She became friends with a man who is 29 years old named David Gray after this. David Randolph Gray. Mm-hmm. This guy's 29. He is an unemployed man who lives in his car.
Yeah, let's be friends.
So she makes friends with him. What are you, 13 years older than me, and you live in your car and you have no job? Awesome. Sounds great. We're going to be fast buddies. And they do, and they talk about it, and she discusses her feelings. I love Ronald, and I hate that Sandra Sowash for taking him away from me, and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, if she didn't exist, it still doesn't matter. You're still a teenager. You're You're 16.
She didn't take you away for. It's not what happened.
You're 16.
You shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Jesus Christ. So June 2nd, 1982 comes around. Tina is at the Red Garter Lounge inside the Buena Vista Hotel.
Yeah.
This sounds like a place for a 16-year-old, right? The Red Garter Lounge. She and David Gray were hanging out, drinking and dancing.
Perfect.
How do you live in your car and you go to bars? How the fuck does that work?
Save that cash. So you don't have a roof.
Jesus Christ. First thing would be roof over my head, not hang out in bars with a teenage girl.
Your roof is a vinyl top. Let's wait a while.
What are we doing? Yeah, you don't. Oh, my God. Your roof comes down and then it gets broken and stuck when it tries to come back up. We don't have this. So they both get shit-faced. And Dave ends up smoking some weed, too. He's smoking weed. They're drinking. Again, you live in your car and have weed.
You have weed money?
How does that work? On patrol there a couple of weeks ago, there was a guy in Florida. Shocker. He's in his minivan sleeping, and they knock on his window, and just a cloud of smoke comes out. And he's like, I was just smoking and fell asleep in my minivan because my old lady kicked me out. And I was like, this is perfect. He just drove his car somewhere, made the back like a bed.
Parked it and was like, fuck it, I'm smoking.
They're like, do you have any more weed? He's like, nah, man, smoked it all. Like, you think this guy has a big stash? No, he doesn't. He doesn't even have anywhere to go. So,
you think I got trafficking amounts? Fuck no.
No. Also at the lounge hanging out is a girl named Dawn Bushart. Bushart, one word. She's 15. What is it with this place? Everybody can just, what is happening? There's a 15 and a 16-year-old girl at the Red Garter Lounge at the moment here.
Jesus Christ.
Tina knew her and referred to her to David as, quote, the fat, ugly girl.
Okay.
That's nice. So that's what she called her. That's the ugly fat girl, not fat ugly. Ugly fat girl. She used that first. So she ends up joining the party, Dawn. So now we got Dawn, Tina, and David hanging out here. Again, so as the lounge is closing, she, meaning Tina, asked David if he would go with her, where, you may ask, quote, to my old man's apartment to get her van and some clothes. My old man. Guy I lived with for 2 weeks till I told him he was 16.
A 26-year-old kid. Let's go tell my old
man.
Do
it. She also wanted David to beat up Ronald to scare him. And then possibly maybe kill Ronald after that, which David said, no, I don't want to kill him. I'll beat him up, but I don't even fucking know this guy. I'm not going to kill him. Okay. So she will deny later on asking that he'll say she asked me if I had a gun, and she says I never asked for a gun. So he doesn't have a gun, but on the way, he does take 4 knives from his car.
This man lives with 4 knives. He has knife money.
His car doesn't work, by the way. His house is non-operational at the moment. His house broke down, which is an issue.
Small trailer home.
No, it's just a tiny, tiny trailer. So they're going to try to get there a different way. If you don't have transportation to go try to beat someone up and threaten your ex, maybe you can't go then that time. Wait till you have a car.
His studio trailer doesn't drive.
That's wild. So he takes 4 knives, and they said she said she wanted the 4 knives too, Tina, quote, in case we got picked up by a nut. Okay. Which makes sense. So the 3 of these people, Kennedy, Gray, and Bushart, they hitchhike.
Yeah.
Want to pick me and my 2 teenage fucking girl? Who's picking this group up?
Right.
Someone.
I mean, he could say, these are my children.
These are my children. These are my nieces. Whatever it is, it looks like he lives in his car. Like they're not, he can't look like he's
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, like upstanding. I guess you could say my car broke down. There it is. I mean, that's something.
House broke down.
My house broke down. It's very sad. Hold on. Let me get everything out of my bedroom before we go. So someone
We took these knives off the
out of the block. He's got a block up on the console.
Dashboard.
It's not bad. He's like, it's not bad. So someone does pick them up and takes them to a point near Ronald's apartment. Not right at it, though.
Yeah.
Let's drop us off here. So Atina sees that Ronald's white van is there. So she thinks he's home at that point. She's like, he's got to be home. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So they walk up to the door, the three of them. Gray here, David, gives Dawn a knife and then gives Tina a black-handled knife as well. Yeah. And he kept a butcher knife and another knife, which was strapped to his belt.
Wow.
So all three of them have knives. David orders Dawn, the 15-year-old, to stand out on the front porch.
Yeah.
Look out, basically. Okay, your lookout. So they enter the apartment, Tina and David Gray. It's disputed whether the door is unlocked or whether she still had a key. We don't know yet. Mm-hmm. We'll never know that. So at that point, she gave her knife to David. Tina gives it to David and enters Ronald's bedroom while David Gray stays in the living room. Ronald and Sandra are asleep in the bed when she enters, which is going to obviously send her into a very angry little fucking teenage stripper rage. It's not going to be good. Yeah. So next what happens is somehow she wakes them up and gets them at knife point here, both of them. So Gray comes in to help her. They take both Sandra and Ronald out of the apartment at knife point.
Oh, boy.
And lead them to the van, to his own van, and make them get in. Okay? Ronald's 2 children are asleep in the bedroom in the house.
What?
They're left behind in the apartment because obviously he's probably happy to just get these crazy people away from his children, I would think. If you have children in the house, that's what you're thinking about. Number one is get these fucking people away from my kids. Sure. Hopefully they won't notice them and they'll leave them alone, So as they were leaving the apartment, Tina picks up a wallet that belongs to Ronald. And this is the first time that they come out and Dawn's sitting out there with a knife too. There's another teenager out there with a knife. They see her. Everybody gets into the van with Tina driving.
Really?
Have the drunk 16-year-old drive. So they proceed westward along US 90, and she's driving pretty quick, too. She's moving.
Sure. Yeah.
They make a right turn off US 90. She then attempts to race an approaching train to beat the train. This girl is dangerous, bro. I
can beat it.
Let's go over and stab my old man, and on the way to killing him, maybe we'll fucking beat a train. This is insanity.
Race the train.
So he does that. Ronald grabbed the wheel and prevented a collision with the train.
Wow.
He had to fucking grab it and like pull it over because she was literally
She's gonna hit
run
it.
into a fucking train.
Yeah.
A train. So David then tells Dawn that if Ronald moves again, you cut him.
Okay.
Meanwhile, he just saved all of their lives.
Right.
That's just number one. Just saved everybody's life.
Bodies and knives bouncing all over this car.
Oh, it could have been a mess. Meanwhile, in the van, David's looking around going, man, what's the rent in this place? This place is pretty big. I got to tell you, this is much bigger than mine. This isn't even a studio. This is a one-bedroom, right?
When this is all over, I want to talk to the manager of this place.
I could put a curtain up right here and get me 2 rooms. This is nice. It's all he's thinking the whole time.
It's a goddamn one-bedroom right here.
Man, this place is beautiful. I'll tell you what, man. I could get a roommate maybe if I can't afford it. Won't be bad. So, yes, to cut him. Now, at this point, Atina, this is fucking crazy. Yeah. This girl is damaged, obviously. She suggests, and this is everyone here says it, that she suggests to David Gray, why don't you rape Sandra?
Oh my God!
Why don't you go ahead and rape her at knife point? You should do that. So he does.
Why? Oh my God!
So he rapes her at knife point in the back of the van. No, he never even thought of it. This was her idea. She was like, yeah, no, you should do that. Totally.
It's so out of control now.
While she continued to drive in a moving car. She makes several turns and ends up stopping on a gravel road. At the time, it was a gravel road called Lampkin Road. I looked this place up. It's actually technically Gulfport, but it is like the last road before there's nothing. There's this road, even now, this is 1982, this is going on, but even now, 50 years or 40 years later, there is nothing. It's all green, just like there's a golf course on the other side of the woods or the other side of whatever the green shit is, just, there's no houses there or anything like that.
Swamp.
Yeah, it's just kind of in the woods. So she makes several turns, stops on Lampkin Road, or off Lampkin Road, I should say. David Gray gets out of the van and forces Ronald out of the van. Ronald urges Atina he's saying, what are you doing? Why? Well, let's talk about this.
What are we doing? Yeah.
Let's talk about this. But she said, I'm not talking to you. I'm done talking to you. So David Gray has the butcher knife, and he has another knife strapped to his belt. There's a beef over who had the black-handled knife, and I believe that Atina had it, and I'll tell you why in a minute. I don't want to ruin what happens here, but I'll definitely tell you why it's believable that she had it. Now, Atina will say that Dawn had the knife, but she didn't. It's Tina that had the knife. Okay. So Gray forces Ronald into the woods and walks him in there. They're walking into the woods. He's holding a butcher knife to Ronald's back as they're walking. Yeah. He marches him about 50 feet into the woods. At that point, Atina yells, kill him. Okay? So Gray turns and yells back to Atina, bring Sandra into the woods too. Now, at that point, we're going to have diverging stories of who did what. But the one thing that's not in question is, at this point, Ronald fucking jacks David Gray and starts punching him.
Hell yeah.
As soon as he turned his attention away and didn't have the knife pointed at him, Ronald starts fighting the guy because he's fighting he's obviously fighting for his life. Clearly.
And he's a guy that's in the fucking service. He's trained.
He's not a pussy. He's a staff sergeant. You know what I mean? He's not going to go down without a fight, obviously. So he does. He starts fighting. They're going and they're fighting, and so now here's where it kind of veers. Ronald is hitting Gray. They're fighting. Gray ends up overpowering Ronald, but dropped the knife during the fight, which is what Ronald was going for, I assume. So after he hits Ronald and keeps hitting him until he's nearly unconscious, he starts to look for his knife. Okay? During this, Gray ends up picking up the knife, and his version is he picked up the knife and saw Atina had come up right next to them. He says Atina asked for the knife and said that she just wanted to talk to Ronald, but she wanted the knife, okay? So David says he gave her the knife and told her to, if you're going to kill him, make it fast, okay? Then he's feisty. He's feisty. So then David said he walked back to the road.
What?
Now, you might be asking where's Sandra during this whole thing.
Yeah.
We'll let you know that. He says about 5 minutes later that Atina returned. He asked her what happened, and she said nothing. He got up and ran away.
Okay.
That's David's story. He said he never used the butcher knife against Ronald during the fight because he dropped it. He said that Atina did not return with the butcher knife either. And, so he said he also didn't use any of his folding knives. Now, the thing that happened was when Atina was trying to get Sandra to go into the woods, Sandra just fucking took off.
Really?
Atina's she's not big at all. She's small.
A
And she's 16. So this Sandra, who's an adult woman, she just fucking ran. She's in her nightgown, by the way.
Wow.
Barefoot in her nightgown. She was in bed sleeping.
Yeah.
So she just runs away. So Atina, at this point, when she's running away, rather than chase her, I don't know if she doesn't think she could catch her or what, she just takes the knife and throws it at Sandra. Tries to, throwing knife her.
Tries to stab her, yeah.
But instead, the handle hits Sandra in the back, and she's able to keep running, ends up about 200 yards away, finds a house, banging on the door. This is 3 in the morning, middle of the night, screaming in your nightgown.
Yeah.
People are trying to murder me. My boyfriend's in the woods going crazy.
Bad throwing knife murderers are back there.
Yeah, this girl can't. She's got a shit arm. She's aggressive, but I wouldn't put her in the ninth with runners on base because she will fucking mess it up.
She'll leave one hanging.
Absolutely. So as Gray was looking, he said that Atina walked up and advised him that Sandra had run away and that she had thrown the knife at her. Gray finds his knife, and then Atina asked for it. Gray says he gave her the knife, and he walked away. So at the van, he said he smoked a Cool cigarette, Cool brand. A Cool cigarette butt was later found several feet from a place where the van was thought to have been.
Okay.
So that makes sense. So Gray said he believed he left Ronald in the woods and he was still alive, and then when she returned, she didn't have the knife, and she said nothing happened, and they left. Okay? That's his version of what happened. I left them alone. She must have done, if anything happened, it's all her in the woods.
I got no reason to stay up at night. I sleep fine.
I sleep great. Now, her version's a lot different.
Really?
In her version, she says she never went into the woods, but stayed at the van with Sandra and Dawn the entire time, Atina says. Also, she said it was Dawn who threw the knife at Sandra, but it definitely wasn't. Atina had the knife because Sandra said Atina had the knife and threw it at her.
Oh.
So I believe Sandra.
Yeah, I believe the victim. Yeah.
Yeah. Both Dawn and the victim both said that Atina was the one with the knife. So I'm believing that. She says that she stayed there. She said that Dawn threw the knife, which we know is bullshit. She also said that when David came back, he had blood on his clothes and on the knife when he came back to the van. She said that she thought he had killed Ronald. David became upset when he discovered that Sandra had gotten away, and then the three left in the van and drove to Slidell, Louisiana, with Atina driving. Okay, while they're driving, David Gray threw out his bloody T-shirt. Once they arrived at a store near Slidell, Atina bought a black T-shirt, which she put over her red and pink jumpsuit she was wearing, because it's, so there's that. Atina and Gray then went to someone's house. They go to Mildred Page Robinson's house, and her son Timothy Page is friends with Atina. They met because Atina and her ex-husband lived in a nearby trailer park, obviously. So Paige noticed that Atina, with the black T-shirt, was pulled over her jumpsuit. So he said he didn't notice any blood on Atina. Atina told him they had come to party and then asked for some cut-off jeans to wear. I'm here to party. Give me some cut-offs. Let's do it. That is Mississippi party clothes.
Yeah. Give me that Mississippi party costume.
That's the one. There's some cutoffs. That's right. That's the prom dress down here.
Holy
Mississippi prom dress. So she removed her red and pink jumpsuit and placed it in some water to soak. She said that her explanation was that she had started her period and she needed to be soaked because she had a leak there probably.
Ew.
So Now, this Page said he didn't notice any bloodstains on any of that, but he did notice bloodstains on one of David Gray's arms and on his pants leg, but he was not wearing a shirt. Because obviously you just come over to hang out at a stranger's house shirtless, obviously. Everyone shows up to my house. No one has a shirt.
Somebody throw me some cutoffs.
We need some cutoffs, a shirt for this guy. Holy shit, a thrift store would thrive here. So after talking with Mrs. Robinson for a while there, Kennedy goes to sleep. Tina takes a nap. She didn't take a bath or clean up or anything before, she just washed her shit and laid down. Then Page, the son, and David Gray get in the van and leave in search of what, Jimmy? A keg of beer.
Yeah.
They're gonna go get a keg.
Let's get it. We're gonna throw a kegger around.
How about a 12-pack? There's 3 of you. What are you doing?
No, we need a whole keg.
2 of you are children. What are you talking about? So Sandra, again, she was there. She was able to get to a nearby house, which she notified Harrison County Sheriff's Department of what happened. She gave a detailed description of the white van as well as the name of Tina as a participant.
Yeah.
Not good here. They know a lot.
And the van's out there running around looking for kegs.
They're out there rolling. And the sheriff's deputies, who of course know of Tina because obviously, they said they knew she had connections in Louisiana and informed Louisiana authorities to be on the lookout for a white van and its occupants. So now they're even being looked for.
Yeah.
By the way, on a highway near Slidell, Ronald's wallet was found.
Oh, they threw it out?
They just chucked it out the car. Yeah, that's what they did. So at sunrise, after, Sandra summons the police and everything, Ronald is found in the woods.
Oh, boy.
With 19 stab wounds. It's brutal, Jimmy.
Shit. The two of them, their story didn't mention that.
Nope. It's really, really brutal. Yeah. The most is he came out of the woods with blood on him is all she said. 19 stab wounds in the face, in the neck, in the chest. His head's nearly severed. It's sawed.
Destroyed him. Yeah.
His chest, his back areas, all this shit. He's in a bushy, wooded area about 50 feet from the road. They never did find the butcher knife, though. They must have tossed that probably with the wallet, I would think. So everybody knows what they're looking for, obviously. Louisiana authorities then spot the white van, and they arrest David Gray and Tim Page because they're in it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's that. So they talk to Page, who's not involved in this at all. And he's like, I'll fucking tell you anything you want. This is just the chick who lived in the nearby trailer park. It's not my sister or something.
I'm just looking for a keg of bud, you guys.
Yeah, we had no idea this was going on. This leads police to his house, to Mrs. Robinson, his mom's house, where they find a Tina asleep. Cops walk in.
Wow.
Out like a light. Sucking her thumb, probably.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, holding a rainbow bright. I don't know what she's doing, but
in her cutoffs.
She's a child in her cutoffs. She's awakened and arrested, given her Miranda rights, and the investigators seize the outfit that she put in the sink as well. The water had already drained out, but they noticed no blood on the clothing at all. She also had articles of jewelry later identified as belonging to both Ronald and Sandra.
Of course.
On her person. So she's placed in a sheriff's car for transportation, and at that point, she's been warned of her Miranda rights again, twice now. So during the car ride, she made unsolicited statements. She just shouted stuff out, can't stop someone from talking, that she had used the knife to kill Ronald, and that she saw Gray. She'll later say it's different. She'll tell a jailer a different thing. She said she saw Gray grasp Ronald's hair, pull his head back, and cut his throat.
Oh, God.
She later says she tried to cut his throat and tried to cut his head off when she was doing it. She said she tried to behead him but couldn't.
Yeah.
That's what she'll tell a jail guy later on.
Wow.
Okay, so they get to the police station. She's criminally charged, obviously. She's given another Miranda warning, and she gives a 14-page statement concerning her involvement.
14 pages.
That's the story I gave you, which is we went, we saw the ugly fat chick, we put her in, went to the place, had a knife, took him out. I sat in the car, Sandra ran away, David came out with blood on. That's her story. Yeah. So they end up getting them, they waive extradition, so they come back to Mississippi. Dawn, by the way, wasn't with them at all. She's arrested a couple days later after hitchhiking back from Louisiana. She made it back. She was then arrested while walking along Highway 90 in Harrison County.
She doesn't have a car at all.
Nope. Hitchhiking around. 15.
Oh, my God.
So Kennedy stated to an officer she believed that she was pregnant and that Ronald was the father. That's what she said. She said she had not had a period for 3 months.
Oh, boy.
So they got a pregnancy test and gave it to her. And it was negative.
Oh.
She said, "Oh, no, you misunderstood me." She said, "I stated I had missed 2 periods, but on today I got my period."
Oh, she's bleeding right
now?
now?
I thought I was pregnant.
Yeah.
Thought I was pregnant, but I'm not. So in jail is when she said that she took the head and tried to cut it and then tried to break his head off his body by the spine, is what she said in jail in response to a question from a guard. She's not Mirandized there, though, so that's an issue. Now, forensics, blood testing here, they indicate that both Ronald and David Gray had type B blood. Blood spots found on Gray's pants were type B blood. This is pre-DNA, remember? Yeah. So they also tested the jumpsuit worn by Atina, and those tests revealed the enzyme paradoxin in 6 areas, which indicated possible blood traces. Possible. The stains were insufficient to get a blood type, though. There were no traces in the crotch of the clothing where she said she had a leak.
Had a period, yeah.
And they said that the finding of the small traces were consistent with the garment being washed. So they said there might have been blood on it, but it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
So they charge all 3 of them on capital murder charges for kidnapping and homicide.
Yeah.
They walked him out to a car, walked the guy out to execute him. This is fucking cold-blooded.
Absolutely.
This is as cold-blooded as you get.
And the injuries
It's like a terror squad.
Yeah, the injuries don't strike me as Gray doing that because they are incredibly personal.
There's a lot. Although, if he's fighting back...
Yeah.
And then he's pissed off and he's like, fuck it, I'll cut your... You know what I mean? Like, it could be a rage.
Have an
we don't
ego
know.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, we'll find out. Don't worry. It all comes out. Much like her jumpsuit, it all comes out in the wash here. So they're going to do all this. Now, Bushart claims she will not testify at either of these trials. She'll end up pleading later on guilty to manslaughter. They'll let her plead because she's 15. So they let her, and she didn't, by anyone's account, she didn't hurt anybody. She could participated in the kidnapping, but she wasn't whatever. She's the least culpable participant. So
certainly, yeah.
But she doesn't testify against anybody. That's the thing. So
why did they let her plea then?
Atina's trial, she now Gray is granted immunity from prosecution on the rape charge, not on the capital murder charge, on the rape charge in exchange for his testimony concerning the rape at Atina's trial.
Yeah, because the rape certainly ups his fucking culpability. He's in a lot of trouble.
And even Sandra said it was Atina who said to rape her. It wasn't David's idea. It was Atina's who said, go ahead and do that. So that's a big deal, too. Now, the verdict here, because I gave you all the evidence, and the verdict here comes out. They find her guilty of capital murder.
Really?
Yes, they do. During sentencing, her defense attorney pleaded for leniency, saying, quote, "The poor girl never had a chance. She had a broken home, a series of foster homes. She's married when she's 13 in a trailer park. She's stripping when she's 15. She really had no chance."
She's the ringleader of this.
That's what's crazy.
Dangerous.
That's what's so crazy about it. If she was just like one of the, this was her idea. This is insane. She's an idea man.
She wanted this.
So. So the defense witnesses describe her as antisocial. This is their defense psychiatrist. Quote, this is a quote from the newspaper and from the court documents, quote, "antisocial and mildly retarded."
Okay.
They call her. A clinical psychologist, J. Donald Mathern of Gulfport, testified he tested her twice and determined she had a mental age of 9 years old.
Oh. That's a badass 9-year-old.
That's what I mean. That's a mean 9-year-old.
Jesus Christ.
What 9-year-old thinks you should rape that lady?
Yeah, she is dangerous on the playground.
That is hardcore. Hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently wherever your problem areas are. Tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right, let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmie's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah. They're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about a very cool place, Thrive Market. Yes, we are both looking to get into the healthy swing this year. The problem is I don't know what's in everything, and I don't know if even I'm qualified to even read the labels to know if that's good or that's bad. Right. There's chemicals in things, and there's things floating around. I don't know what I'm doing out there. One of my favorite features, and I know you were talking to me about this, is the Healthy Swap Scanner in the Thrive Market app. Yeah, it's simple. You scan any item, and it'll instantly suggest a cleaner, healthier grocery alternative, which is
it's great.
Amazing. Yeah. That's great. Thrive Market also takes the guesswork out of finding these safe, healthy foods. For example, like I'm trying to get my protein intake up for energy. I'm always moving around. I need stuff, and I love that you can filter their site by the high protein options.
Nice.
It's very cool, and you can personalize this portion, and you can put filters on it, and get ready. You should be ready for a junk-free start to 2025. Get ready for it and head to thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/smalltownmurder, thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Another defense witness, a psychiatrist here from Gulfport, said he found she suffered no brain disease, no organic brain damage, and gave reasonable answers to his questions. However, he said if she were 18, she would be classified as antisocial since she met the normal criteria for the diagnosis. He said this included a lack of remorse and the inability to be concerned about the welfare of others. When you grow up like that, you don't care about others because you're being
because you don't care
tortured.
About you.
You're having bad things happen to you, so fuck everyone else too. So they asked if she had anything to say before sentencing, and she said, "No, sir," while weeping. Sentencing comes in. You, young lady, may fuck off. Death penalty.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. They're going to kill Blondie.
They're going to kill a child.
As she's led from the courtroom, she is heard to say to no one in particular, just out loud, quote, "Damn, y'all." I love how that took you a second. You were like, "Is there more?" Nope. You looked at me and you're like, "There's no more." She just said, "Damn, y'all."
Damn, y'all. That was fast.
That's fucking
Damn, y'all
wild.
Gonna kill me? Damn, y'all.
Damn, y'all. I feel like Britney Spears says that 30 times a day.
Do you think she said,
y'all.
yeah. Did you think she said it with a comma of like, damn, y'all? Or do you think she said, damn, y'all? Like,
damn, y'all.
Hope y'all go to hell. You know what I mean?
I think it was like, damn, y'all.
Damn, y'all.
Shit. More than I expected.
Wait, kill me. Damn, y'all.
Damn, y'all. That's fucked up. So Gray's trial comes along. Yeah. And the morning of his trial, he's trying to get some witnesses that are prisoners at this point. Yeah. People that I guess were in the Biloxi jail and heard Tina say she tried to cut his head off. So they argue that the judge refuses that because of the expense of transporting the prisoners.
Oh, no, we don't want to spend that.
Nah, that's too. Nah, you're not worth it, dude. Sorry. You're kind of a piece of shit. Not really worth it. So, yeah, they said the judge recognized that if Kennedy took the stand as a witness and waived her Fifth Amendment right to be silent and denied she took part in the murder, then the testimony that said that she cut the guy's head nearly off would be admissible to impeach her testimony as prior inconsistent statements. So you can only bring it up if she brings it up. It's basically like it's like character stuff at this point because you can't bring up character, and if you bring it up, then they can bring up all your shitty things. Okay. So, yeah. So the trial judge rules that if the proper predicate were laid out for impeaching Kennedy, he would reconsider his ruling on the motion to transfer, and so that's his ruling, which seems fair. So she is called to testify by Gray.
Really?
Okay, they call her to testify, but she takes the fifth and does not say shit on the stand. Okay. Yeah. All right. So Timothy Page.
Yeah, she's got the death penalty. What could be worse?
Who cares? Yeah, fuck this guy. So Timothy Page, he comes from Louisiana. He's the guy who was in the van and got arrested. Right. He testifies about against Gray. He says that he noticed Gray had a skinned place on his hand and some, quote, bad things on his knuckles. He'd been in a fight.
Okay. Yeah.
Little blood on his elbow. And he said that Gray told him he got in a fight with a couple of guys in a bar in Mississippi.
Couple guys.
And this guy, you go, shirtless guy, lives in his car. That all tracks. Yeah, couple guys in a bar. Yeah, that makes sense.
Blood stains on his arm. Yeah, probably true.
It's all normal. So they said, was there anything else about David that seemed strange? And he said, yes. When David handed me a drink of Jack Daniels from the bottle, I don't remember which arm it was. They're drinking Jack Daniels from a bottle.
Jesus.
But he had dried blood on his arm, just below his hand. It's better than Lord Calvert's, honestly. Yeah. Although same result in the end.
Just a smidge.
Well, Jack is to celebrate a murder well committed, and the Lord Calvert's is to get you to commit murder. It's a different drink. It's a different drink.
It's a pre and post drink.
Pre and post, yeah. And the opposite hand, his knuckles were skinned. It looked to me he had cut his hand hitting someone in the mouth or teeth. I asked him what had happened. He said he got into a fight somewhere in Mississippi with two dudes. He was bragging about how bad he was.
Yeah.
And he then said, too, the dude, David, David, he said, was real nervous. And when I was looking around, he didn't want me to look around too much inside of the van.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. He said that he appeared shaky and all of that. The prosecutor said, then Page said he'd been in the district attorney's office for a couple days, and they talk about the statement because they're saying, didn't the district attorney basically put this statement into your mouth? He goes, well, I mean, we did a pre-interview thing, talked, but yeah. So, that didn't happen. So now, before it goes to jury, there's the jury instructions, which is to give what you're doing. So you could say manslaughter now, and this is when you ask for different things. So during the discussion, Gray's attorney asked the court to permit him to draft a manslaughter instruction for submission as a lesser-included offense on the ground that the jury could consider his story to be true, that he fought and killed Ronald in the heat of passion but without malice.
Okay.
Which, if you kidnapped someone, you're asking eventually they're going to...
It doesn't matter. They died in the commission of a kidnapping. That's capital murder.
Yep. They said that it would not be granted under the rules of the case. Gray argues that his testimony that Ronald hit him and they engaged in a fight offers a basis for presenting the jury for the affirmative proposition that his actions were without malice forethought. The state said that even taking in the evidence most favorable to Gray, there's no way it could be said to support a finding that Gray killed him without malice and in the heat of passion. He armed himself and two others, abducted two people at knife point, took them into the woods north of Gulfport, led Ronald into the woods at knife point, then beat him to the ground breathless, at least, even if you take his as testimony at face value. Then he gave a knife to someone else to kill him with.
And then walked away.
So either way, this is bad. But we don't even believe that. So verdict comes in, guilty of capital murder for David. And here comes the sentencing. You, sir, may fuck off. Death penalty for you,
Absolutely. We're going to kill a little blonde girl for this? You got no chance, man.
Yeah, fucking living in your car is coming too. Yeah. Let's go, Hobo Joe, in here. Yeah, that's right. Strap in.
Absolutely, yeah.
By 1983, Atina wants a new trial.
Really?
Yes, it's based on the fact that now David Gray comes forward and said he lied and he stabbed Ronald, and Candace, everything she said was true.
Okay.
He comes out. He's trying to do this. He sends a letter along with Kennedy's appeals here. They asked for a new trial based on the letter. In the letter, Gray recanted his previous testimony that Kennedy had killed Ronald, who had been stationed around there, and Gray said that he acted alone when he stabbed him to death in the woods. He said Gray's attorney, called as a witness, testified that Gray told him in November he lied when he said that Kennedy had gone into the woods. The lawyer said, I couldn't understand some of the physical evidence and facts that seemed to fit with his testimony. Gray said he couldn't explain it, but he knew what he'd done and he knew what she hadn't done. So the lawyer, though, said it didn't make sense with some of the physical evidence. To me, if you stab someone 19 times, you're going to have blood on them.
It's going to be fucking everywhere.
One had blood on him, the other didn't.
Yeah.
Tells me she wasn't near him when it happened.
Right.
When you cut somebody's throat, a lot of blood happens, and anyone near there is going to have some blood on them. So Gray told the lawyer that Kennedy never went into the woods where Ronald was killed and that she never inflicted physical harm to him. They said that his head was nearly severed from his body, and they said that his testimony conflicted with the testimony in his trial. And they asked him, what made you tell the truth? And he said, what I'd done was wrong. I was trying to save my life. There's no sense in me dragging someone else down for the crime I committed. I'm trying to get right with the Lord.
Really?
I felt in my heart I needed to get the whole thing straightened out. Then he broke into tears, and he talks about Ronald and said, I pray for this man. God is the only one who knows how truly sorry I am. I love people. People are what make up my world. I'm a people person. I shouldn't kill people.
I'm the welcoming committee for my cell block because I'm the people guy.
Yeah. He said that he wrote letters to the district attorney in which he said that he was in jail for a crime he didn't commit at first. He said, I wrote the letters seeking revenge against Tina, but I had a burden on my heart and decided to tell the truth. You got revenge when the court found Tina guilty, is what the district attorney said. And he said, no, sir, I didn't get my revenge. The court did.
Okay.
So he's asked again, why'd you change your mind? He said, I may be able to lie my way out in man's world, but not in God's world. I no longer fear what man can do to me, but I fear what God will do to me.
Oh, how Southern.
That's very Southern. So he that is denied a new trial, even though the other participant says that he did everything. Denied.
Whoa.
84, though, she appeals again. And under this, they said that this is a very complicated legal matter in terms of the statement made to Officer Mason in response to a question was made at a time when the Sixth Amendment right to counsel had attached. So that was when she was already in jail.
Okay.
So they're saying that she's claiming that anything question made without the benefit of presence of her attorney, because she had invoked her right to an attorney, that doesn't count. So they're saying even though she was in jail, there was no Miranda at the time. It wasn't a formal questioning. She shouldn't have been able to do that. And that ended up being allowed into court.
Okay.
So turning to the sentencing stage, counsel objected to the statement, to some of these statements. They said the record reflects the trial judge's statement that the head remark, meaning I tried to cut his head off, is what brought the death penalty. And they're like, if you take that out, then it's just her word against his, and it's a different thing. So they decide to reverse the sentencing phase and remand her for a new sentence. They take the death penalty out here.
Okay.
They affirmed the guilty verdict, but said that inappropriate death penalty given the misuse of her statement to a jailer, her age, and the fact that Gray, who physically committed the murder, was sentenced to death himself. So They say, yeah.
Oh, boy.
New sentencing comes around.
Yeah.
She gets, you young lady may keep fucking off, one life sentence and 2 25-year sentences.
So may as well be death.
Still a lot at the Central Mississippi Correctional Facility, inmate number 42451.
Yeah.
Now, the dissenting opinion of this that says they shouldn't have given her a new trial, or they shouldn't have done this and reversed her sentence. They said the Sixth Amendment does not require 24-hour-a-day presence of counsel, nor do I believe that the Sixth Amendment prevents authorities from asking a question of a defendant so long as the defendant is willing to answer and does not then invoke the right to answer except with the attorney present. I feel confident that the framers of the Constitution never intended that it would protect a defendant from her arrogant utterings voluntarily made with respect to the details of the crime committed by her. Wow.
Jesus, I want to shoot her in the face with a 25 myself.
Fuck, wow, that's brutal. Said it was not only a confession of her guilt, but was an evidence of her lack of remorse, callous feeling, and depraved heart with respect to the crime with which she planned and enticed others into helping her commit. Okay, 1985 Gray appeals, and the United States Supreme Court overturns his death sentence and remands him for new sentencing.
Really?
Yep. There's a whole, it's a whole big deal. Again, it's a very small things, but death penalty cases. That's why
raped a woman at knife point.
Raped a woman at knife point and then killed her boyfriend after they kidnapped them from her home. So, from their home.
Sentence. Wow.
So 1988 is new sentencing. He is mad because on sentencing, he's resentenced to life in prison as a habitual offender, which means no parole.
Yeah.
So it means that even if he gets paroled, they can still keep him. Okay. They can decide to keep him because he's a habitual offender.
Yeah, because he fucks up too much.
So they say sentencing on remand was conducted here. The sentencing jury failed to impose a sentence of death. His original indictment charged him with capital murder as a habitual offender. So a bifurcated habitual offender status hearing was done here, obviously. I mean, you got to have one of those. How often have you done that? I mean... He says that since he's already been sentenced for the crime and since the state failed to press forward with habitual offender adjudication at the original trial, it's because they were going for death penalty, it didn't matter. If you kill him, it doesn't matter if you parole him. The state should be precluded at resentencing from enhancing his life sentence with the habitual offender status. So that's what they say. The court disagrees, though, and says, get the fuck out of here. Affirmed life in jail. You're a habitual offender and eat shit, basically.
Okay.
So, 1990.
Wow.
A film comes out about this.
Really?
It's a TV movie called Too Young to Die, ?
Jesus.
It's all about Atina. Atina is the main thing about this. And guess who plays David and fucking Atina?
Who?
Brad Pitt and Juliette Lewis.
Get out of here.
Serious. Brad fucking Pitt and Juliette Lewis are David and Atina.
Unbelievable.
David has some balls having Brad Pitt play him.
Brad Pitt to play him?
1990
Wow.
Brad Pitt. Young Brad Pitt.
Youthful.
It is based on the true story, although it's a little bit different. It's this movie set in Oklahoma, and they keep referencing the gas chamber, which Oklahoma never even used the gas chamber, and all of that kind of shit. The weird part of this is during this, Juliette Lewis was 16 and Brad Pitt was 26, and they started dating.
Is that right?
Oh, that happened. They dated till 1993.
Oh, my God. Brad?
Yep, in 1989, which is the exact same ages as David and Atina.
Yeah,
that's what's
Bradley,
fucking creepy.
That's gross.
Yep, and they ended up doing California in 1993, which was pretty much the same fucking movie.
Who's
It's
Brad
Natural
think he
Born
is,
Killers,
Leo?
but different.
Yeah.
It's
All right.
So, they do all this. The family, Ronald's family, was super pissed off at this movie because they basically had painted Atina as a victim, which to show her life, it's hard not to show her as a victim.
She's certainly a victim of the upbringing and
up until the
fucking Gulf Coast.
Up until she said, let's get knives and go kill my boyfriend, you feel terrible for her.
Right.
And then at that point, it's awful. So, they said they didn't like it, and it pissed them off that she was painted that way. March 9th, 2008, she's up for parole.
Oh, boy.
For parole. Now, Ronald's daughter posts on a site here about it.
Oh.
This is in 2008, January 2nd, 2008. So 3 months
One of the
before
kids
parole
she
hearing.
left behind at the apartment.
This is Dolly.
Yeah. Oh.
Dolly said, I was very upset to find out that Tina is coming up for parole very soon. I was notified earlier this month by the Mississippi Parole Office. This upset me more than I can even say. I thought she got life without parole, but that's not the case. It really brought up all those feelings from back then. I think about my father all the time, but I was better thinking that she would never get out, and personally, the thought that she might be released kills me. I know she's been there for 25 years, and that's a long time. Some people may feel that she's served her time, but my dad will never come back. I just don't feel like she should have the chance to live her life when he never will. My whole family and I have written letters, and my brother and I are hoping to attend her parole hearing if that's possible. I'm checking on that now. It's a little harder since we both live in South Carolina now. Anyway, I just felt like I needed to get my feelings out there about that. I do pray that she doesn't get released, but I guess overall I don't have control over that. I'm just going to do all I can to try and keep her there, at least as long as possible. Thanks for listening, Dolly. I feel so bad. She's not even full of like hate or malice or anything. She's just like, I don't want her to be walking around.
Society safe.
I don't want to bump into this broad. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what it sounds like. So somebody then responds, what's the likelihood that she'll actually be paroled? And she says, truthfully, I really don't know. I'm guessing she won't get it this time since it's the first time, but I'm not sure really. I hope she doesn't get out. And then on March 9th, 2008, she is released from prison.
What?
Paroled and get the fuck out of here.
That psycho's on the road?
Yep. And then later on, she says, quote, unfortunately, it's too late. This is Dolly again.
Yeah.
I got a letter last week saying she did make parole. I think her release date is March 8th. It truly does kill me, and I don't understand. It was her first board, and I really never thought she would make this one. I figured they'd deny her at least once, but I guess since she's been there for 25 years, they decided to release her. They didn't even contact me till the first week in January to tell me she was even coming up for it. I did send my letter as well as other members of my family, so I did try. Not really much else I can do. Thanks for your concern. It means a lot.
Wow.
She also goes...
First parole board. She's out.
She goes by Amanda Sue Bradley nowadays, by the way.
That's not even close.
She changed her name to, changed her name to not be, because her name is famous.
Yeah.
David Gray, still in prison and looking old as shit now.
Looking
not
like
looking
shit.
good. Yeah, he's like 60, he's almost 70 now. He's 69, but 69 and he's been in prison for 40 years. That's a lot. So he is the Mississippi ID number 01440 if you want to keep up on him.
Yeah.
He's at this point, it says he's in there for life. The homicide is life and there's no release date. And he's pretty fucked. He also had other things too at the time that he got sentenced for that he was on the run from, which was grand larceny in 1980 and aggravated assault in 1979.
A wanted man committed a murder? Crazy.
Wasn't a great guy to begin with. So anyway, that, everybody, is Biloxi, Mississippi, and one hell of a fucking crazy little tale that is, isn't it?
She's a monster, man.
She is. That's a dangerous person. I mean, I get it, background is terrible, but at some point, if the dog's biting people, it's not the dog's fault, but holy shit, it bites everybody. What do we do with it? You know what I mean? This is terrible. So it's hard to do. There you go, everybody. If you like that show, tell the world about it.
Yeah.
Number one, get on social media and also tell your friends and give us a review on whatever app you're listening on. Helps drive us up the charts a lot. Follow us on social media. Listen to our other shows, Crime and Sports, and Your Stupid Opinions, where you can hear about the whiskey that might make you take a head off. So there's that. Listen to that. Find that. You can also get Patreon, patreon.com/Crime and Sports. All your bonus material.
Yes.
This week, Donnie Moore for Crime and Sports, a tragedy of a mess of a downhill ski of a life for 2 years, just a mess. And then for Small Town Murder, the Menendez brothers. You know all about them.
Yep.
And you get a shout out at the end of the regular show. That said, it's been a wild one. Thanks for hanging with us. It's been wild shit. Keep coming back every Wednesday, every Friday, every Wednesday night, every Friday night, and of course, Crime and Sports and Your Stupid Opinions. Find us on social media. Do all of that shit. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.